Dr. Gupta, thank you so much for joining me. So in today's briefing, Dr. Anthony Fauci laid out all the things that we don't know about the Omicron variant, including whether it can evade the vaccine. So given that, can you explain to our viewers why it is so important to get the shot?
Well, there's pretty clear evidence, I think, if you look at some of the early data from South Africa, that the vaccines do provide some protection. South Africa is a country of about 60 million people. About 16 million people have been vaccinated. And what they're finding is the people who are showing up positive with this new variant are almost all unvaccinated. So that's a data point that I think they're going to pay attention to, and another reason that people should get this shot. But I want to show you something else here. If you sort of track the trajectory of the pandemic through South Africa since the beginning, starting with the original variant, look at what happens here. This is a country that's largely been unvaccinated. Dana, they didn't even start vaccinating until February of this year. They have the surge, they get a lot of infection immunity, it comes down. But look, about 3-4 months later, you get another variant and another surge, which tells you two things: that infection-acquired immunity isn't lasting very long, but that the vaccines are providing more protection. This is an interesting snapshot of this big question that people keep asking: vaccine immunity versus infection-acquired immunity. South Africa teaches us an important lesson here. You get vaccinated because the durability and the infection-acquired immunity doesn't last that long.
That is so fascinating. That graphic really helped explain it. I want to ask about testing. The CDC director called COVID testing in the U.S. robust. So given that, does it surprise you that none of those tests so far have shown that the variant is here in the U.S. yet?
It does surprise me a bit. I mean, this is one of those things. Our surveillance testing is certainly better than it was. And as Nick just mentioned, about a seventh of positive tests are then going and getting their genomic sequence done to figure out which variant it is specifically. I think it's pretty clear that it's here, Omicron, and no one should be surprised when we report that, which my guess is will be in the next couple of days. I think what happened, Dana, is that over the summer we just kind of stopped testing. Right? We had a real lull in testing. We talked a lot about this idea of having plenty of home tests. They are more available now, but I think people have not been using them as much as they could. Antigen tests, Dana, are good for answering the question people are really often trying to ask, which isn't, do I have the virus in my body? The question they're asking is, I feel fine, but am I possibly contagious? Because we know people without symptoms can spread. Those antigen tests can do a great job of answering that question. People can buy them in stores. I've been buying them, going into the cooler, drier months, have them at home, and it's a good way to just be sure.
Admiral Dr. Brett Dewar was